Thinking about moving to a bigger home, before you make that big move, let me tell you this. We're gonna talk about the 5 top mistakes that people make when moving up. Because trust me, it can cost you money, time, and so much stress. But don't you worry, I have the solutions to help you from making any of those crazy mistakes that I see people do time and time again. Let's get into it. Mistake number 1 is not knowing the true value of your home. What I see time and time for my move-up buyers is they assume that their home is worth way more than they expect, or sometimes way less than it actually is worth. The market is constantly shifting. It's very volatile. Real estate is very volatile. It's always changing. So if you don't have someone that is really telling you what the market looks like in your hyper-local area, you can be misguided very easy. So don't rely on Zillow alone because it won't cut it, I promise you. Zillow has been off time and time again. Okay, Keyra, so how do I avoid, knowing the true price of my home or the true value? It is to get a market analysis. It's a comparative market analysis that you can get from an expert, AKA me, that will walk you through what your house is valued at, also what the market was, what the market is, and what the market is going to. You want to make sure that you are positioning your home to go into the market that's coming, not necessarily the market that is right now. And by doing that, that's a way that you can really know what equity that you have in your home so that you're able to move and shake and know how to go buy another property because you have a true great estimate of what you would be walking away with. Mistake number 2 is buying and selling without a plan. Sometimes when you're wanting to sell first, then buy, I think sometimes we're just like, let's wing it. And the saying that you've heard since you were a little kid, which is when you fail to plan, you prepare for failure. So creating a strategic plan just for you and your situation is very important. I mean, I think that's common sense, but not common sense isn't always common practice. So what I see is people falling in love with their new home and not necessarily knowing how to get out of this house. And carrying 2 mortgages is not fun unless you're renting it out. I mean, I do that, but it's not fun to carry 2 if you're not trying to. Okay, so how to avoid this mistake? Well, you want to, 1, think about doing a leaseback. A leaseback is you would be selling your now property, leasing it back for a couple months until you move into the next home. A contingency offer. There's so many things that you can do when trying to sell and then buy. We just would need to know what your situation is. And even a bridge loan will also, take a little stress off of you because you have a little bit of room where you can do both, not for a long time, but a short time. So planning is so important. And of course, like I would tell everyone on here, is exploring a lot of different options is going to be important, especially like a bridge loan, so that you have a little bit of flexibility so you're not feeling strapped, like financially strapped, because that's not fun. It's not, and it's not easy to take on either. It's stressful. The 3rd mistake that I see time and time, and even something that I've done, which is not really understanding the expenses of upsizing, of getting a bigger home, having more space. A bigger home equals more expenses. So utilities, maintenance, yard work, there's so many things that a lot of people just overlook, myself included. I definitely overlook the yard work because I came from a condo and I had turf in the backyard. So I didn't realize how much it costs to keep up your landscaping and keep people mowing your yard. That's an expense that you don't want to overlook because it can add up. So how to avoid this is factor in all costs. And so I'm gonna say I'm fortunate not to necessarily have kids because kids are such a big expense. You have daycare, you have medical bills for them. There's so many things. And so you really wanna think of like the worst case scenario when you're thinking about your cost, so that you rather overshoot than undershoot is what I like to tell people. So upsizing is great because you do have that space and you feel so great. Like you can think bigger, you can be bigger, but just know your pockets need to either get bigger or you need to figure out where you can cut things in or out of the budget. If you're thinking about selling and moving up this year and you really don't know where to start, I would really suggest that you schedule a strategy session so I can help you from where you are to where you want to be. And it's so important to have a plan that's for you. The consultations are super easy. They're about 15 minutes. I give you a call. And if there's something that we want to go deeper on, we will then jump onto a Zoom call and go a little bit longer, like 30 to 45 minutes, just depending on what your situation is. So it's free. Go ahead and schedule a strategy session now. If this is something that you know you're like, this is me. I want to do this. I want to sell. I just don't know where to go, Keyra. Anyways, let's get back to it. Mistake number 4 is skipping the pre-approval for your next home. So many people start to look on Zillow or want to go home shopping before they've even known their budget. And why that is a big mistake is because, guys, if you're anything like me, you don't want to have champagne taste but beer budget. I think we've all heard that. But you don't want to start shopping for this house that you believe that you can afford, when in reality, once you get that pre-approval, you really can't afford it, or you can afford it, you're just not willing to pay that price. So how to avoid this is to get a pre-approval ASAP. I have so many preferred lenders. If you want a preferred lender list, please comment down below, preferred lenders, or just put lenders, and I will send you over my top 5 lenders that I have worked with, and you will be in great hands. Also, the reason why you want to have a pre-approval first too is to cut out any delays, so that you know what to expect when it's actually time to go home shopping. It's very, very crucial. You don't want to fall in love with a house that you don't know if you can afford, or that you don't want to actually pay for. The last and final mistake is choosing the wrong timing. The best time to sell is not always the best time to buy. So once again, it's so important to actually have a plan so that you can map out what works best for you. So many move-up buyers either rush the process of trying to sell super fast, and then they're not wanting to buy in the market they're selling in, or vice versa. They're ready to buy, but they're not necessarily ready to sell. So the biggest way to avoid this mistake is to just get with a realtor, someone that you trust, someone that you know that can walk you through. And I help people ready to sell now or ready to sell in like 5, 10 years. Even though the market will be very different, the process itself is very much the same. So work with a realtor, me, hello. And we will help you with your strategic plan and how to time the market and know the trends and where you are in your local market. All right, y'all, so now that we know what not to do, you need to make sure that you know where to go. So next week, we will be talking about the top 5 suburbs to buy in 2025. And now there's gonna be way more than just 5, but I'm just gonna give you the top 5 that have rapid growth, that's gonna give you the best appreciation, and it's gonna give you the best bang for your buck. Make sure you subscribe, like, and share with a friend that you believe that this can truly help. I'll see you next time. Peace.
Oh my gosh, there she is. It's Keyra Ford. Keyra Ford. You don't know what? Never heard? Oh my gosh, she slays every time.